The 2020 Ross County Fair looks a lot different than what people are used to, but it is still going on as a junior fair. We've got an update coming your way next after this. The fleet of American-made stand-ons from Wright Manufacturing, built by landscapers for landscapers. Available now at Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue, Chillicothe. In a moment, we'll hear from Elite Eagles 4-H Club advisors Tara Immell and Kim Litter. But first, we want to visit with Kate Wells. She was very instrumental in getting the plan started for the junior fair that would be different than what we've seen in previous years. I asked her if things were going according to the plan that they drew up.
We spent a long time and a lot of meetings with dedicated volunteers and great senior fair board to come up with a plan that honestly is being executed far better than we thought. So far, we have seen 95% of people wearing masks. We've definitely seen great social distancing practices. We've put things in place like every other bleacher is blocked off in the large animal arena so that we can encourage people to make good choices. But they're also just voluntarily doing it. I think they understand that we need to follow these practices to make sure that we can continue to have the fair and that future fairs can happen too. It's not just about our kids, it's about other kids, and everybody seems to really understand that at this point.
I think the hardest was our meetings, to have our meetings because we were meeting virtually. So as advisors, we weren't getting that face-to-face with our members, and you're trying to look at the kids through Zoom to see if their projects are being good. And so that was the hardest, to prepare our kids for this. But we're on the 4-H advisory committee, so we kind of knew some of the preparations, which lots of work went into, and it's been great.
Yeah, and I mean, the kids are very resilient. They've done a great job changing ways for the year, and they've still all worked really hard, and they're all excited to be here, and we're just thankful that they can be here to show their animals.
I have to think that one of the challenges has had to be the uncertainty of so much, because you're supposed to be full of knowledge going in. And there were kids asking questions, I'm sure, that you didn't know how to answer.
Exactly, and we have a Facebook page, and we would keep posting as soon as we get information, we'll let you know. But, contact us, ask us questions, and we'll try to find out the information, because it was hard on us too. And with all the different changes throughout the virus, it was like one day, yeah, we're going to have a fair, then it's like, I don't know. And we had even talked to our advisory committee thinking, what if our fair gets canceled? How are we going to handle that with our kids? Right. And luckily, we didn't have to. And I take it because of our leadership, working with the health department, getting this plan in order. And the kids are doing great. Yep. We are on patrol for wristbands and dress code and not having any problems at all.
Kids aren't complaining. They're just doing what is asked of them, and they're doing a great job.
And I think that shows us that our kids, sometimes we don't give them enough credit, that they can do this. And so proud of them.
Talk about how you think it's gone so far, because the opinions I've been hearing has been, man, I'm really impressed with how things have gone.
I think overall, some of that is kind of refreshing, that the things that always happen at fair are always happening. There are kids that are walking in there really proud and excited, and there's kids walking out having won with big grins, and there's kids walking out having learned with some happy smiles and some hard tears sometimes. And I think that's what 4-H is about. So I think we're really accomplishing our mission here, which is neat. It's different this year. There's not huge crowds when people are announcing the winners to be applauding. And I think it's okay to acknowledge that that's sad, that it's not the same, and that we hope that next year we're back full throttle again. But I do think the kids are getting to go through the experience as much the same as usual as we can possibly do. And that has been really good to see. I think we're really proud of that. One of the neat things that has happened because of this circumstance is that normally people are really invested in their species, and they take a lot of personal pride in that. But this year, because of the nature of things, people are taking an interest in learning about other species and helping out with other species differently than they ever had before, which I think is great cross-training and an opportunity for people to see, well, maybe the rabbits are doing this really awesome and the goats need to consider doing it, or maybe the goats are doing this really awesome and the hogs need to consider doing it. And otherwise, when things are usually chaotic and so many things are overlapping, they don't have an opportunity to learn. The leadership, the volunteers often don't have an opportunity to learn what other species are doing. So I would look for next year some really good improvements to come about because of this.
And no complaints.
And even our kids on their special projects, they didn't have their normal judging. We judged as advisors, and I can say as our club, every one of our kids came in prepared for a normal county judging. They didn't come in and, downplay their projects. They did them to the full extent, and we were really thrilled with that.
I think the reason things are working so well is because of 4-H and the different characteristics, leadership and all of that. You're seeing it truly on display this year like you've never seen it before.
I completely agree with that. When we talk about 4-H, we talk about building a culture of people that care about kids. And we have seen that over and over again through this whole process. There are volunteers and families going over and above to make accommodations to make this work. And that's a testament to how much they care about what we're doing, that they believe in the power of 4-H to make a difference in kids' lives, and that we need to make time and make choices that allow that to happen despite circumstances. And I agree that that type of resiliency and tenacity is definitely something 4-H is promoting.
The main thing through all of this, 4-H teaches responsibility and leadership, and it might not be what we've always expected for the kids to learn, but they're still learning, and they're still being leaders, and they're still seeing leaderships that we go on and we learn from this. And I think our kids are going to learn from this, and they're walking out of the rings the same way they did when the ring was full. They're out there to show their animal.